Hey guys, what's going on? Josh here from Polymathics, the YouTube channel that helps you become a modern day Renaissance man. And today I'm here in my truck. I'm about to go to work, but real quick I wanted to drop some NaNoWriMo-ology on you. So in National Novel Writing Month, this is the time where a lot of people kind of fizzle out because they've gotten to the midpoint, and a lot of the ideas that have been kind of circling around in their heads are finally on paper, and now it's like, wait, where's all the other stuff? Where's all the good stuff? It's gone. You've already written it. So if you're like that, then don't fret. Now is the time to go back, look at your scenes, and start to think to yourself, okay, so from scene 1 to scene 2, did it transition okay? And if not, what would a logical transition be that maybe has a little bit of a cliffhanger to keep people wanting to turn the page? Or maybe you go back to the scene where you had said there will be a fight, but you didn't really explain what happens in the fight. Well, now's the time to go back and look at that fight and evaluate, like, what is the best way to show the fight scene? Or maybe it's a romance scene. Whatever the case may be, if you're fizzling out and you can't think of what's supposed to come ahead, sometimes it's good to look behind and look at what you've already written and not edit. That is not what I am saying. Do not go back and edit. But what I'm saying is go back and put more flesh on the bones of that skeleton that you've already created. And the other thing that's been kind of weighing on my heart, so to speak, is something that Joseph Campbell said a long time ago. Any of you guys who have seen Star Wars or Harry Potter, in one way or another, have been influenced by Joseph Campbell, because those followed the monomyth. And you can look it up. I trust in your Google foo. But the monomyth is essentially something that Joseph Campbell, he didn't discover it, but he kind of popularized it. And what he did was he looked at all of the ancient myths from various cultures around the world, and what he found was that there was almost this template, like certain beats that they all hit. And it is probably the most popular used template story-wise. Not that there aren't others, and not that others don't work, but this is the one that has been around for probably the longest in history. And my point wasn't actually to explain the monomyth. You guys can look that up. But my point was, something that Joseph Campbell said was very interesting. He said people have a misconception about eternity. They believe that eternity is this far off thing from in the future all the way after they die and beyond. Or some people think eternity was before they were ever born and everything that led up to it. That's how they perceive it, he says. But in reality, our eternity, the eternity that we truly experience, is this very moment in time. And what he said was that you could be living in a personal hell, or you could live in paradise for the rest of your eternity just by changing your mindset and trying to live in the moment. And so this is very important for those of us who are doing nano, because when we go through National Novel Writers Month, our primary goal is to get those words on paper, because as storytellers, that is our bliss. That's what he called it, your bliss, your passion, your desire, that fire that you have that burns within you to tell some story of significance, something that really touches you at the heart of you. And a lot of times what we do is we put off our storytelling because of all different kinds of distractions and responsibilities, bills, kids, work, you name it, it happens. And what happens is we designate this month, November, to get that book out. And then while we're in November, we find more excuses to allow ourselves to not get that word count in. And so what happens is we are living in that eternal hell, because for those of you that may be behind on your word count because you have allowed other things to get in the way, it's going to start to eat away at you. And the only way that you're going to feel good is to sit down and dedicate that time so that you can write. And if you trust in the process, the muse will come in and it will start to inspire those words and allow you to discover things about your character and the world that you're building that you could never have possibly imagined. So the point of advice, I've kind of gone a long way around this, but my point is, whether or not you're behind on your word count, if you're allowing things to get in the way of doing Nano, sit down and take a good look at yourself and ask, is this how I intended this month to go? You know, are you going to look back and think about this time as a time that you were able to spend using your gift and developing your message? Because essentially when we write a novel, that is our message, it's our gift, it's our innermost being coming out. So anyways, hope you guys are doing great. And if you are a little bit behind on your word count, don't worry, you'll get there. Just stick to the process. Stick to setting aside some time every day to sit down and write, and you'll get there. All right, this has been Josh from Polymathics. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight and writing the good write. Take it easy, guys.